do you remember seeing The Color Purple for the first time, becoming aware of it, any of those things?
Well, no, The Color Purple came out before I was born.
Mhm.
So I don't really remember when I first saw The Color Purple, but it's kind of always been part of my life. Like I just always remember The Color Purple just existing. I feel like I remember being aware of Whoopi Goldberg specifically
Mm.
around Sister Act, and then I feel like I saw Color Purple sometime after I saw Sister Act, but then maybe not even then because Color Purple is often quoted in black cinema and and just black spaces and music and movies. Um, so I just feel like I've always had the Color Purple in my life.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's so much. I just finished watching it again. There's so much stuff. It's like boggles my mind, but I guess a good starting point, because you mentioned Whoopi Goldberg, that performance for somebody who I think she'd done a little bit of screen stuff, but barely anything.
It's her first major motion picture.
It's like the most remarkable, sensitive, nuanced, just like out of control. It obviously was totally robbed of the Oscar that year.
It didn't win any. I think it was nominated for like 9 or 11, and it got
11.
0 Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nominated for
Crazy.
11 Oscars. It got 0 Oscar. I think Out of Africa won that year.
Mhm.
And I mean, it was a all black cast and a Jewish director, and I don't think that was really the vibe
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the time. And that says a lot about the world at the time as well. But it's also, for me, it's not just The Color Purple, the movie; it's the book, the musical, the
Mhm.
movie, and of course the new movie coming out on Christmas Day
Right.
with Fantasia Barrino, Danielle Brooks, and Coleman Domingo.
Yeah. It's uh an amazing life for a work of art, and for something to kind of touch people in so many different ways, in so many different forms of media, is a real testament to Alice Walker's work, to the story, to all of the like emotional themes, to all of the performances that have come through all of these iterations. Um,
And for
and
those of you who have not read The Color Purple, what's really interesting about the book is that the book is written almost entirely in letters. It's all just letters. And you also get to journey with Celie through literacy.
mm,
Because in the beginning, she's illiterate and she's just learning how to write. Um, it's really interesting. It's letters to God, letters to her sister. It's a really, really, really brilliant piece of work that has had many lives. It's been on Broadway twice, 2 movies, a book. I mean, I can't say enough great things about, and also the amount of awards it's won. I mean, I think it won a Pulitzer. Did I make that up? Maybe. Um,
that sounds right. I'll find out right now. Yes, Pulitzer and
yeah,
National Book Award, both.
and of course, it also every actor who's played the role of Celia has at least been nominated for Best Actor, even though Whoopi Goldberg did not win. She was nominated, and LaShawne's won the Tony. Cynthia Erivo won the Tony. I do believe Fantasia is going to win the Oscar. I genuinely believe that next year The Color Purple is going to sweep the Oscars. It has to.
Yeah, and another incredible cast.
Yeah.
The trailer was already just like making me emotional.
I mean, Taraji P. Henson, Coleman Domingo, Danielle Brooks, Fantasia Barrino, her. It's just gonna be. It's gonna be a. I really can't wait.
Yeah. Did you get to see either or both of the Broadway shows?
So the Broadway show, the first time it opened actually in Atlanta at the Alliance Theater, and I
Mm.
got tickets to go see it, but I couldn't go because I was in a play at my
Mm.
school that I didn't even graduate from. I should have just left and go watch it. But I did get to see Cynthia Erivo perform the role in on Broadway, and it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I have a friend who does press for Broadway shows, and she gets me free tickets to things, and I just kind of get to go and not really have to like worry too much about it. And it was like on the spur of the moment, and we were sitting really close, and it was just like, yeah, so overwhelming. She was so incredible. Danielle Brooks as well, just like out of control.
I think I saw Jennifer Hudson, or did I see Danielle Brooks?
But all three of them, because Jennifer Hudson is the singer in the juke joint.
Shug Avery.
Shug Avery, yes.
And yeah. I saw them both. Yeah, they were both in the show. I saw Danielle Brooks, Danielle Brooks as Miss Sophia. Yes. I saw Cynthia Erivo as Miss Seeley, and I saw Jennifer Hudson as Shug Avery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but then later down the line, I know a little bit too much about The Color Purple, and then down the line, that same cast, Jennifer Holliday played the same role, which is really wild, and of course Jennifer and Heather Headley as well.
Yeah. But just a really amazing production. I think one of the things that I really liked about that too is the set just being very stripped down, kind of allowing you to just focus on the performances, really leaving space for all of these people who are so incredibly talented and who fill the space themselves so well. It was really amazing. Just as an aside as well, Aretha Franklin was in the row ahead of me when I went to see it, and it was like losing my mind. Like,
how was her response?
She had like, security around her, and people were coming up to her and being like, "Oh, Miss Franklin, you just want to see?" The security were having none of it, and she just kind of like would wave like, yeah, we're not here for that.
I love that.
Yeah,
all she wanted was a little bit of RESPCT. That's literally all she was asking for.
I know. There was a song about it actually.
Yeah. She notably wrote the song right after leaving The Color Purple.
Yes.
Notably. Yeah, her hit song "Respect" she was like, no one in this theater was respecting me. I need to write a song about it.
Yep. I remember that. Yeah. But I guess, going back to the movie, not just Whoopi Goldberg's performance, but all of these people like, Oprah Winfrey, who again was like very green as an actor.
Yeah. Danny Glover.
Yep. Went on to do Lethal Weapon immediately after this.
Well, it's kind of funny how many of the people who left this role did not leave the role being known for their serious acting. Whoopi Goldberg is known as one of the best comedians in television history. She went on to do Sister Act. She went on to do Ghost. She went on to do a lot of really, really camp movies. And Oprah Winfrey went on to be the queen of media. I mean, truly the queen of media. And Danny Glover went on to do some really campy buddy cop films.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the only one from this film who went on to do not exclusively, like really serious stuff is Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
But Steven Spielberg at the time was already massive. He was the only one who was like really massive at the time from this film.
Right.
And Quincy Jones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think, but Quincy Jones as well had like outside of The Wiz, I don't know if he had done much with film.
Yeah.
So, and I think he was this was the first movie he produced, I believe. But yeah, Steven Spielberg, all of these people kind of having new experiences. Like, I think this is really the first serious movie that wasn't like a big blockbuster. At least definitely since Jaws had come out and he was considered to be this huge blockbuster director. So it was this huge change for him. And, he has said it's kind of a controversial thing to have an all black cast and have a white guy directing it. And he felt kind of uncomfortable about it at the time. But at the same time, having somebody who is that powerful could have been a huge part, probably was a big part of getting the film made.
Yeah, I'm sure Steven Spielberg was a big part of why this film was greenlit, or maybe it was greenlit and then he got attached to it. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know the full story there, but I do know that Oprah Winfrey had essentially like almost but quit her dreams of show business and acting and was like on a fat farm when she was cast in the show. And and I've kind of become friends with Desretta Jackson, who is the woman who plays young Celie in the
Mm,
movie as well, and heard about her audition process, which was really interesting. You know, she had just moved to America from the islands and landed this big audition, and it was
mm.
quite a grueling audition, very long apparently.
Yeah. I also listened to an interview with Whoopi Goldberg where she was talking about her audition process, and she was flown out to Steven Spielberg's like private theater and did an audition in his private theater, came out from behind the curtain, and it was like Steven Spielberg, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, like all of these other people in front of her. And she was like not prepared at all, was not expecting, she's a stand-up and like
Yeah, and
going
also, why
into
is Michael Jackson here?
right. So weird. And I guess,
Like, who is
it
he
was
gonna play?
right.
Honestly, Michael Jackson could have been a harpo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
Then,
see Michael Jackson as a harpo.
yeah, I guess because it was vaguely thrillery times. Quincy Jones was obviously producing and music supervising, but Miss Celie's Blues, the song that Shug sings, writes for Celie, was written by Quincy Jones and Rod Temperton, who wrote like Thriller, and Lionel Richie helped with the lyrics too. So it's all these like little
Lionel
things.
Richie?
And
Oh, you said Lionel Richie, but I heard Richard Simmons. I don't know why I heard Richard Simmons.
now
I was like, but you know what it is, because I was just googling when did The Wiz come out. It was in 1978. So, so Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones had already been working together for almost like years ago. And then I remember, I don't know why I heard Richard Simmons in my head, which is, I was like, why is Richard Simmons playing lyrics to Sister? You know?
Yeah. So it was Richard Simmons wrote the song, and then Michael Jackson sang it in drag as Shug. Is that what we're going with?
I'm also going to go on record and say Color Purple is one of the most quotable movies of all time. When you think of the most quotable films, I think like maybe The Shining, Star Wars, and The Color Purple. So many quotes, so many great quotes. You show is ugly is a great quote from the movie. It's gonna rain on your head is my favorite quote from the movie. Undersold, but it's gonna rain on your head is a great quote. You told Harpo to beat me, another brilliant quote. You sitting at the head of your own dinner table and you acting like a waiter. Like, this is one of those movies that I just like. I love to watch it with people, and when someone says they haven't watched it, I love to watch the film with them.
Yeah, it's all of those elements, like the writing, the performances, but also just like being able to pick out all these incredibly famous, talented people, like Lawrence Fishburne, just like popping up randomly, and Radon Chong being Squeak, and all of that stuff too. The one other fun fact I was going to say about that song, well, all of the songs, Shug's voice, it's not the actor actually singing. It was Tata Vega, who, did you ever see 20 Feet from Stardom?
Yes. So I went down a Tata Vega deep dive years ago. I'm obsessed with this, with the whole everything Color Purple. I'm kind of obsessed with, which is why I'm really excited about Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba in the new Wicked film as well. But yeah, I watched 20 Feet from Stardom from Fame on the airplane.
Yeah. I just thought that was amazing too. Like, she's her voice is insane. I mean, that is also Cynthia Erivo. Seeing that production, like, one of the things that kind of annoys me sometimes about musicals is that when people sing the songs, it's not that they forget to act, but they start like,
over singing and underacting.
Right. And it's like she has the ability to just really stay in the moment. It's like she's singing, but she's not. Like, she has this incredible, amazing voice that's just coming out of her, but her facial expressions, it's not like she gets Broadway face on and is doing jazz hands. It's like really still, really like subtle.
Now, to be fair, jazz hands have their place in time. I'm gonna say right now that there's a time and a place for jazz hands. I don't think it's in the song "I'm Here" from The Color Purple, but
Yeah.
I do think that in the song "Cabaret," when you're singing "Candor and Ebb" or you're singing all that jazz, or maybe a little jazz hands can go a long way there. But I would probably save the jazz hands if I was singing like "Mama's Turn" or "I'm Here" from The Color Purple.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's probably the best approach. Yeah, but again, like having all of this like incredible life of, I guess the only thing that I can think of that's a comparable journey that's not even as many twists and turns is like Hairspray being a movie and then or musical and then a movie musical. But this is even more.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know that a film has had. I don't know that any work of art has had this many iterations. I'm sure there is. Someone's gonna be like, actually, um, but the fact that it is two movies, a Broadway show, and then a revival, and a book. That's pretty much every. All it needs now is a TV series. you know,
right.
Color Purple TV series, which I think the content, the subject matter might be a little heavy for ABC. Um,
Mhm.
it does cover quite a wide range of subject matter. Um,
Mhm.
Talk about a trigger warning. This whole book needs a trigger warning from beginning to end. But it also, even though the show is quite heavy, people forget that it's also really funny.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
also a very fun show. It's also quite campy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like watching Oprah Winfrey stomp across that field.
Mhm.
There's some like when you first realize that she's like dating Harpo, and it shows her walking down that road and she's got that walk that she's doing. Um it's really camp, and Oprah Winfrey is married now with all the with her whole family barging in to hug her and pushing Harpo out of the way. It's so camp. Like
Yeah.
watching when Squeak assaults
Yeah.
Miss Sophia,
Mhm.
and everyone, like the piano player packing up the piano, taking it, like everyone leaving. It's so campy, and
Yeah. And
I
then
hope that the new film has some of that camp in it still.
mhm. Yeah. And then the reaction shot of her like having been punched in the face and falling backwards down a hole, just like
Oh yeah, so great. You don't actually see,
mhm.
you just see Squeak slide into the swamp under the house.
Yeah.
It's just so good. But even like Steven Spielberg really you in moments, because you're like the moment where Oprah punches the sheriff's wife or the mayor's wife,
Mhm.
and like it's really campy right beforehand, because like hell no, I said hell no, and then she's getting grumpy, and then the guy's like, can you pump that crude a little faster, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, of course, she punches the sheriff, and then or she punches the sheriff. I mean, she tells the wife no, and then she punches the sheriff. No, she punches the. Oh my God, I'm getting me. She tells the mayor's wife no, and then she punches him, and then the sheriff attacks her,
Yeah.
knocks her down. That's what it is. Then she goes to prison or jail for years, and then the
Mhm.
next time you see her, she's just completely a shell of her former self. Um, there's so many. I can go on and on about this movie. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing is the story itself. The movie, condenses a lot of things because of the way that adaptations work. But even that, it's like a 2 hour and 20-minute movie, and the amount of story that is packed into that, the amount of things that happen, the amount of issues that are raised, and like the complexity of the relationships between people and whatever, but it doesn't feel overloaded. Um,
Well, The
and
Color Purple covers about 40 years, right?
mhm, yeah,
Roughly 40 years that the book, the work of art covers. So yeah, there's a lot of time. If you go from literally from Celia being a teenager to her being like an older woman in her home,
mm,
meeting her children.
right,
Yeah. So her kids are about 30 years old when they get back from Africa.
yeah. And another thing that I noticed, the kind of subtlety of the way that time passes in certain stages. Like they show, Sophia is pregnant, and then there's just voiceover from Celie saying like, "Oh," and then she had more kids and whatever. And there's like
Mhm.
5 kids all of a sudden, and again, it doesn't feel like something that's rushed. It doesn't feel like something that's forced, and it's not clunky. It's not like, putting up a title card that says like
Yeah,
years later. Although there is some of that. But
but it's done really well though.
yeah, so just like really amazing filmmaking with an amazing cast, and the source material. Just, Alice Walker is a brilliant, brilliant writer.
Obviously,
But yeah, I mean, I guess, the like slight criticisms that people have that Steven Spielberg has himself is kind of bringing the temperature down on the queer themes and kind of pulling back, not having anything explicit. And he said that he always felt like he should have had the courage to have like a love scene between Celia and Shug. And I don't know,
let's talk about
like
the year, right?
1983 or whatever.
It's
Yeah.
1983, and there's a kiss. That's pretty big for a major motion picture. We're not talking about indie rom-com. It's a major motion picture, and it has a lesbian kiss in it. You know what I mean? And I feel like Celie is in no unclear terms in love with Shug Avery, and I feel like they make it quite clear. And I'm aware they could have had a sex scene like they had with other characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I guess that's if you're looking at Color Purple through today's lens, you know.
But I also
you
think,
got to get the movie made, right?
right. But I mean, even thinking about all of those factors, this is again a real a testament to Whoopi Goldberg's performance. Watching her in those scenes, the way that she's, like giggling, nervous, but kind of folding in on herself like somebody who has never really had someone show that kind of affection for her, and has always been told that she's ugly, has always been, dismissed, and hasn't had a lot of love in her life. And just seeing the way that she reacts to having that attraction happening is just so incredible. And to me, it reads very, very queer. It's very explicit. There's no room for like other interpretations of what's going on.
Watching Whoopi Goldberg cover up her smile is one of the most heartbreaking things I think I've ever seen in cinema. Watching her hide her joy, watching her deny herself beauty is it really can get to you, because I feel like a lot of us see ourselves in that, or at least I can't speak for myself. I see that in myself. You know what I mean? This desire to be beautiful, to be loved, and to have someone validate that in a world that doesn't validate it can be really powerful.
Yeah. That moment and the very end when she is like running through the field towards Nettie, and they're like,
oh yeah, oh that's so much.
And she just like doesn't know what to do with herself, and is just like kind of confused and really happy, but also just like can't process what's happening. And her face, it's just, she is such a fucking actor. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're not gonna get any argument from me. Whoopi Goldberg is an icon, and she, in my opinion, she should probably already have 2 or 3 Oscars. You know?
Yeah. Like, I am very, very happy that she won for Ghost, but I think she deserved even more than that, and still does. I wish she would still do more acting, but she's fine. She's relaxed. She's doing a few.
There comes a point where you're like, I've done what I got to do. You know what I mean? And it's like how some musicians just. I mean, she does. I mean, she is still acting. She's not acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had this idea a while back. I started it during the pandemic, but I just kind of like it didn't go anywhere. It was called The Complete Works of Whoopi Goldberg, where I watch every single major motion picture Whoopi Goldberg has ever been in. And I just kind of fell off because it's a lot of work to do. I think she's been in something like 64 movies.
Yeah.
And I was gonna watch everything from Citizen Kane to like her most recent work. Not Citizen Kane. Citizen. I'm Not Losing My Mind. I'm Giving It Away. Citizen, I believe it's called, or it's called like Citizen. I'm Not Losing My Mind. I'm Giving It Away. That's what it is. I mean, down to Lion King to, you know, Jackie's Back, every movie I can get my hands on.
Mhm.
And I got like 5 movies in, and then I kind of like ran into the problems of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the concept was I watched the movie, and I talked to someone who worked on the film, and I talked to someone else who's like connected to it in some way, or just a friend of mine. So like I would get like Todrick Hall, who was in the Broadway production, and
Mhm.
then I was trying to find, and then I found Desiree Jackson, who was Young Sealand.
Mm. Yeah. Uh, the kind of 80s output, I was thinking a lot about that while I was watching this as well. Like what came next for her, like, you know, Jumpin' Jack Flash. And did you see Burglar?
Yeah, listen, I haven't seen every Whoopi Goldberg movie, but I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of them. Even
Yeah.
Fatal Beauty, which is a wild movie. If you haven't seen
I
Fatal
have
Beauty,
seen Fatal Beauty. Yep.
Fatal Beauty is a movie that was written for Cher. So, but Cher didn't take the role, or Cher couldn't do the role for whatever reason, and Whoopi Goldberg ended up doing it, and it was written as an Italian woman, and they just never changed the line. So there were lines like, "Oh, these Italian women," and her name was Rita Rizzoli, was Whoopi Goldberg's character's name, and to justify her being black, they just like threw in some N-word slurs. Like I was like, this is crazy. And it was like this weird thing where like the idea of Fatal Beauty was like this drug that will kill you on the first try, which is a horrible business model, by the way. Like you need drug dealers need customers.
Right. First step.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna need customers, honey. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg had a very interesting. I watched. There's one movie of her that I watched that was, I cannot remember the name of it. It's where she plays a housekeeper, and it's called Clara's Heart.
Yes. Yeah.
You've seen Clara's Heart?
Yep.
Maybe you and I need to do this podcast together. The
Yeah.
Complete Works Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. I'm into
Clara's
it.
Heart was a wild ride of a movie. I'm talking. Clara's Heart was bananas. I was blown away by what that movie was. I can't in good faith say I enjoyed that movie, but I can say that I'm happy I watched it.
Yeah. There's like Fatal Beauty, I feel like that falls a little bit more in the like good wild category to me.
Oh
Claire's
yeah,
Heart.
super camp in a fun way, camp in a great way.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she made 2 movies that are almost the exact same. Long Walk Home and Karina are essentially the same movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Whoopi's got such an interesting career.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was really the toast of Hollywood for a long time. But also, it was this thing where she would play like apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently, Sister Act was also written for Bette Midler.
That sounds familiar.
And then she did, but so Whoopi was taking these roles that other people wouldn't take, but then she'd like made them in a way that like the other person could have never come back and taken it back. Like, I mean, I'm sure that Sister Act would have been great with Bette Midler, but it is just with Whoopi Goldberg, it's just mwah.
I think that Jumpin' Jack Flash was written for a white woman as well. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
I mean, another interesting movie. Like, what an odd. It's just like
so weird.
like Whoopi Goldberg has this online relationship with this person who like needs her. It's basically one of those letters you get, or those emails you get back in the early 2000s, like, I'm a Nigerian prince and I need your help. It was that, but in the 80s, and Whoopi Goldberg was like helping this. It was such a strange movie.
Yeah, the part where she's like wearing the cocktail dress and the wig and is lip syncing.
It's getting caught in
her love. Yeah.
Oh, is that right before or after the dress gets caught in the shredder?
And it's like there's a secret pocket for her Walkman in the side of it.
I really back to Color Purple. Part of the movie that was really kind of hard for me was like this idea that Whoopi Goldberg wasn't beautiful, because I just thought she was so stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Whoopi, she was just so beautiful in this movie. And we were all just gonna act like Whoopi Goldberg was ugly. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, yeah. And like, you know, that was one of the greatest pleasures of watching it to me, is that by the end, it feels like she at least can start to see her own beauty, even if other people are still not willing to show her the kind of affection and adoration that she deserves. that there's like, and it's just like self-confidence, getting out of the abusive household that she was living in, having her own home, having her own business, all of those kinds of things. But it isn't that explicit thing of just saying this is like a beautiful person, and having somebody, even Suge never really says that to her. So yeah.
Yeah, when I look at a picture of young Whoopi, she's so cute and
Right.
young. Oh, she's so cute. I love Whoopi Goldberg. I'm a big Whoopi Goldberg fan. I'm kind of, I have like a Whoopi Goldberg tattoo. Like, I'm obsessed.
Yeah, she's pretty great. I feel like that is a lovely note to finish on. This has been very, very, very fun. I am so glad we got to do this. Thank you so much for making time for me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me to be here.
Hey, do you want more conversations with incredible people talking about the movies and music they love? Then subscribe to the Spark Parade YouTube channel.